from the silver screen teenagers with attitude, and welcome to a very special episode of Morphin Reviews. It's episode 3.5 and it is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie review. So this movie came out between seasons 2 and 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, both which I have already reviewed. Here's the thumbnails. Click on there to go watch those reviews if you haven't, and if you can't click on there, there's links for it in the description below, as well as a link for episode 1. So after being a massive hit with audiences and the kids, the Power Rangers finally could finance their own movie. Directed by Brian Spicer, written by Ann Olson, it stars Jason David Frank, Steve Cardenas, Johnny Young Bosch, Karen Ashley, David Yost, Amy Jo Johnson, Paul Schreier, Jason Narvi, Paul Hoffman as Ivan Ooze, Nicholas Bell playing Zordon, and Peter Marty Rickson playing Alpha 5. We get all our characters back from the show. We get Rita and Zed and Goldar and a new minion of theirs who comes out of nowhere, and we get a very basic long-running Power Rangers episode. After a giant alien egg is unearthed in a construction site, the evil Ivan Ooze returns and he promises revenge on Zordon for imprisoning him millennia earlier. Zordon will have to again count on the Rangers to defeat this villain and save himself and the Earth. So this movie starts with a big scene. Our Rangers along with Bulk and Skull are doing a charity skydive for the Angel Grove Observatory in anticipation for Ryan's comet. It's a comet that's going to pass near the Earth and it only comes around in whatever years. The Rangers perform their big jump, showing off several skills as they dive into the Earth. They land safely, but Bulk and Skull waited too long to jump, so they land in a construction site. There the evil egg is unearthed and Ivan Ooze returns. He unleashes an evil energy that warns Zordon to his presence, and so Zordon tells the Rangers to go fight him, as he does in the show. The Rangers go, but Ivan as his Ooze men. These weird slime creatures that take care of the Rangers. Ivan Ooze goes into the power chamber and he destroys it, leaving Zordon outside, rapidly aging and giving him a physical form. This happens while the Rangers are fighting the Ooze men, and so they suddenly lose their powers. The Rangers return to the power chamber and see a physical Zordon laying down, rapidly aging, nearly dying. And so, in order to save him, Alpha sends the Rangers into the planet Phadios, where they will have to find new powers that will help them defeat Ivan Ooze. As they journey into Phadios, Ivan Ooze meets Lord Zed and Rita, and he entraps them inside a snow globe. I know, wasted. But if you don't want to have Zed or Rita in your movie, you shouldn't have used them in the first place. Just tell in a line of dialogue that they are resting today or whatever. Just don't waste them. Goldar and Rita's new minion we had never seen before, I can't even remember his name, agreed to work for Ivan Ooze. However, they don't ever do anything else during this movie. Knowing that the Rangers have gone on to Phadios to find the great power, Ivan sends his bird-like Tengu warriors to fight them and distract them, and while he does this, he constructs a plan to unearth his Ectomorphicon Titans, two massive creatures that will help him conquer and destroy the Earth. For this, he disguises himself as a carnival wizard, giving his hooves to children, and they take it home. This will eventually hypnotize their parents, and they're going to become Ivan's workforce. The Rangers get to the planet Phadios, and somehow they are immediately met with the Tengu warriors, who absolutely kick their asses and put the Rangers near death. However, they are saved by the great warrior Dulcia, who at the time I can see giving strange emotions to young boys and some girls. I'm not taking sides. The Rangers are saved by Dulcia, and when they tell her they need her help, she tells them to go home. However, the Rangers tell her that they are working for Zordon, they're his friends, they're his disciples, and they need to save him. This makes Dulcia change her mind and take them to the old temple, where she gives them the power of Ninjetti, showing them their animal spirits. Tommy is the falcon, Adam is the frog, Rocky is the ape, Aisha is the bear, Kimberly is the crane, and Billy is the wolf. Dulcia tells the Rangers to go pass their test in the jungle and find the great power there. She tells them she cannot go with them, otherwise she would age as rapidly as Zordon is aging on Earth. The Rangers go through several tests in the jungle and they fight a freaking dinosaur skeleton. How awesome is that? They defeat the dinosaur skeleton, Tommy giving the final blow, and then they defeat the 4 temple warriors. And after that they unleash a great power, restoring their old powers, unlocking their new ones, and they head back to Earth. Back on Earth the construction is done on Ivanus's massive creatures, and now he wants to dispose of the children's parents, and so he sends them off to walk into a cliff. A little kid named Fred, who apparently is a friend of the Rangers, tries to stop them, and he goes and finds the help of Bulk and Skull hanging out in Ernie's bar, and he asks them for their help. They of course go into it, showing us a little bit of what we would eventually see with Bulk and Skull when their development truly becomes great in Zeo, then in Turbo, then in space. To save them in time, they board the city's monorail and head to the construction site. The Rangers are back on Earth suddenly, and they call on their new Zords, forming the Ninja... Oh my god, what is that? Jesus! That looks awful. Is that what Saban blew his budget on? I don't like it. The Ninja Megazord is able to defeat one of the Titans, and Ivanus morphs together with the last remaining one to fight the Rangers. They have a tough battle, they are nearly defeated, but Tommy comes in, joins the Ninja Megazord with his own Falcon Zord, and they form the Flying Ninja Megazord. They have another tough battle, but then they remember of Ryan's comment, which was only mentioned in the beginning of the movie, just like in the beginning of this review. They grab onto Ivanus, throwing him in amidst Ryan's comment trajectory. Ivanus explodes, the Rangers return, the spell, Ivanus' spell on the parents is broken, and once again, the Rangers save the Earth. They immediately return to the chamber and find out that Zordon is dead. But wait! This is a children's movie. Realizing what they have truly learned and prepare for this, that anything is possible, the Rangers use their powers to restore Zordon to life and to restore his chamber. You still look awful, sir, but I'm glad you're alive, Zordon. There's a big fireworks celebration to celebrate the fact that Ivanus was defeated, that everyone is safe, and the Rangers send a letter signed by them to their little friend Fred, who actually annoys Bulk and Skull a little bit because they actually play the big part in saving the city, which is understandable, but of course Bulk and Skull wouldn't get their due until in space. And then apparently Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie was the first superhero movie to have a mid-credit scene, because we see Goldar sitting on the throne of Lord Zed, calling himself King Goldar. Then come in an infuriated Lord Zed, an infuriated Rita, and Goldar and the minion who I can't remember the name just go, uh-oh, and then the credits continue. This is a fun movie. Every flaw it has and every good thing it has, it shares with the show, with what the Power Rangers were, with what the Power Rangers should represent, and every misstep here and there actually gives it quite a charm in my opinion, because Power Rangers, their flaws are something great in it, and I think this movie took the most advantage of it. This movie didn't try to be anything else than what the Power Rangers were during the show. The good things in this movie is that you actually feel a deeper connection in the movie, in between the Rangers, than you did in the show. And Zordon, as awful as he looks, because it was a different actor, so I understand their decision, it was a good idea to give him a physical form. It was never explained, it was never justified, but it was a good idea to give him a physical form due to the fact that he actually dies. And watching this movie as a kid, you actually believe that Zordon is dead, and it feels heavy on you. You feel like, Zordon dying, what are you going to do now? Of course, they completely undo that, reviving him 2 seconds afterward. I think it was a good idea for the effect they intended. Ivanus is a good villain. He is everything a Power Rangers villain should be. He's campy, he's ridiculous, he makes you laugh, but he has these scary moments for the little children, who are of course the main audience of the show. The Rangers receive new suits in this movie that actually look quite awesome, and I wish for season 3 that they had worked with these suits. These suits could have worked as the metallic armor that comes in the show. And I think after this movie they could have taken advantage of the storyline they had created here to continue on season 3 and have Dulcia and other missions in Phadios. They only took the Tango Warriors out of this movie and used them on the show. Rita and Zed, as I said before, they are wasting this movie. They didn't need to be here. And Goldar and the other guy, they don't have anything to do here. I wish you could have only concentrated on Ivanus. Maybe they could have given us a little bit of his history with Zordon. Maybe they could have given us a little bit of Dulcia Garcia's history with Zordon. Maybe they could have had bigger tests for the Rangers while on Phaedos. But this movie, as I said, the flaws give it much more of that true Power Ranger flavor, and I really, really appreciate that. And so, I am still barely going to give Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie a martini. It is still a good time, anytime. Did you watch this movie as a kid? How did you felt about it? Have you watched it recently? How do you feel about it now? Let me know in the comments below all your feelings on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The movie came out in 1995, and this is not the last movie we are going to talk about. There's links to my Facebook and my Instagram in the description below. Go stalk me on the internet. And there's also a little subscribe button below the video box. Click there if you haven't to get updated whenever I upload a video. And of course, I'll leave a link to my previous video right here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very special episode of Morphin Reviews. Next time we'll talk about Power Ranger Zeo in episode 4. Tomorrow I'll have my review of Neighbors. And you can watch my previous video, which is my Money Monster movie review right here. This next week comes in X-Men Apocalypse, and I'm going to have a spoiler-free, a Q&A, and a spoilers-filled review. And I can't wait to give you all of that. Of course, I will see you guys in my next review. Cheers.